This is Missing Persons Interpol Yellow Notice number 21-22733. And it is Friday, September 19th, 2025 at 3:25 p.m. And I just got back from going to get my food for the day. And I walked down, I think the name of the street is Central, I'm not sure. It is the first block. If you were to come off of Van Dyke, it would be like the first cross block that you would come to, which for me is kind of like a back way through the neighborhood. I walk down to Sunburst or Lillian, and then I turn and I walk up towards Van Dyke, and then there's the Muslim store, the Mina Halal Bazaar is right there on the corner of Lillian and Van Dyke. And so I went in there today to get some chicken and some chicory and lemons and ginger and coconut water. And when I came out, I sat down in the parking lot on the curb to drink my coconut water. And CIA Macomb County Corporate Council, KMG Prestige, had one of their dirtball losers sitting on the next corner facing me. He was sitting on, I think it's like a flower bed, a raised flower bed that's in front of and goes around to the front of the side of the animal clinic, the veterinarian clinic across the street. And so this dirtball was sitting there with what looked like a Walmart bag, while I was sitting there with my shopping bag while I was drinking my coconut water. And I had not bought the chicory yet. And I had not decided if I was going to use the last $7 that I had on me and just go ahead and get what I'm going to have to get anyways while I was there or not. So, I sat there drinking my coconut water, smoked a cigarette after, and then I had decided, I have to throw the can away in the garbage anyway, so I'm just going to get the chicory now while I'm here. So I went in, and I did that. And when I came out, dirtball, with his black basketball shorts, I think it was like a black t-shirt. He's got a bald head. And he's middle-aged. I would say that he's probably about 52, 53, 54. And he may be in his 40s. So he was still sitting there. And when I came out, I did like I usually do. I walked through the alley. Okay, I was, instead of on the sidewalk on Van Dyke, behind the buildings, the alley space. And after I went past the first block, where the animal clinic, and then whatever else is on that block with it, okay, and then I came to the opening of the next street, which is going up. That would be between Bush and Sunburst, whatever street that is. As I was coming out from the alley into the street, at the same time, the dirtball met up with me coming to the corner from in front of the buildings. Okay, and so I stopped, and I let him pass. And mind you, we're already about 20 minutes into a conversation about dirtball right in front of his face that he doesn't even know is taking place, and all his American-born ignorance and arrogance. That He's a Homeland contracted operative and a FEMA role player, you know. Like, he thinks he's some highly sophisticated, highly intelligent secret agent on a mission or something. And, you know, and I'm just the dumb retard in the street, the poor victim of his crimes of terrorism who doesn't know who he is what he thinks, right? So I'm walking behind this dirt wall. Now it's me on his heels. And he's trying to walk faster and faster, and I'm walking faster and faster. And then he's turning around, and he keeps turning around to look and see if I'm still behind him. And then after we passed the post office, which was Bush, okay, no, I take that back. Then I went one more street, which I believe is Dale. And right about there, right to the corner of that, okay, oh my God, hold on. This is one of these horrible insects right here. One of these, they call them Chinese stink bugs, okay? There's more to these than what people realize. Okay, we're going to kill him right now. Get rid of this. Okay, these are god-awful insects. Oh, I hate these. Okay. So I didn't want to go too much further out of my way, so I'm somewhere there right at around where there's Ford Funeral Home. I think it's Ford. There's two funeral homes. It may or may not be Ford. Anyways, because there's two funeral homes within a couple blocks. And then there's the Viva Coney Island. And then there's the auto shop with that hog of a heifer, Mo, with the ice blue demon eyes, who I told you they've recruited and is really, really paranoid. And I think that's where this dirtball came from also, just like that guy Al. And I'm told that that's where he came from. Whether that is accurate information or not, perhaps it's not, to confuse me and throw me off from where he's actually really from. I don't know, but we're going with that. Okay, that's what they said. That's what the intelligence agents here said. They said he's from that auto shop there with the Viva Coney Island. So that's what we're going with, whether he is or he isn't. And so I stopped while he kept walking, and he was hauling ass. And he kept turning around to see if I was still behind him. And so I was waiting because I didn't want to keep walking any farther. This guy could have been going to 8 Mile as far as I know. And I was waiting for him to turn around again so I could wave goodbye to him before I continue on with my own separate destination. And then that's what happened. He turned around. I waved. He was shocked, and he did a second look, okay? And I waved again, okay? And then he turned left up into a parking lot of I don't think there's anything there at this building now. It's like it's the next corner from that auto shop that he had just passed. Okay, and then he went up the parking lot of there, and I turned left at the same time down the street that's like, even with where he's going. And when I got towards the alley, here he comes out from around the back. No, I take that back. He already came out from around the back and was sitting on the side of that building. So when I walked past, I walked right up on the sidewalk, right down the side. I stopped right there, 3 feet in front of his face, where he was now sitting on the side of the building. And I smiled and I said, "Don't let the Homeland contracted operatives and the FEMA role players get ya, because they're out here They're out here like flies on shit. I was in the, and he's like, huh? and then I started to walk, and I turned around and I said, who do you think taught you to do that? You know, turning around, real quick, trying to look. I said, you learn that from Israeli Mossad, whether you know it or you don't. And he's just looking at me like, huh? And then I went back the opposite direction that I had originally came from, which was headed towards my final destination, where I needed to go anyways. And I walked behind the auto shop, behind the funeral home, or the Coney Island, and behind the funeral home. And this dirtball was still just sitting there, ducked on the side of this building, where he where he tried to hide. Okay, so this is what I told you. I told you. They all say and do the same stupid shit. In addition to, and see, I don't always, and when I get information on who these dirtballs following me around are, I don't necessarily always give that credibility or complete 100% credibility. And the reason why is because I do have the God-given gift of logic and reason. Okay? And I am not mentally ill. I am not paranoid. Okay? And, you know, so, and whether they're following me or not, I always hope that they are. And the reason why I hope that they are is for no other reason than so I can do what I did to this guy today, but I'm going to tell you what's not going to happen again. The only reason why I don't have it on video is because I did not take a device with me. Okay? I hate the phone. I hate the internet. I hate the artificial intelligence that's not very intelligent or smart. Okay? In the time it processes one thought, I've already processed 100 thoughts and have made my own decision. I don't need this technology to get me through life, but I do need it to expose and exploit you people. And for that reason, okay, I will have a device of some sort on me, whether it be the phone, whether it be one of my dummy phones that doesn't have an activated service, because I keep them off anyways, okay? I don't accept phone calls. I don't accept text messages. I don't accept anything from you people. I have a phone for my own personal use, for when I need to make a phone call, for when I need to send a text message, for when I need to look something up, for when I need to do some research, for when I want to watch YouTube, or when I need to destroy you people's lives. That is why I have a phone and a device. And I don't have one for any other reason. So, you know, I just figured, you know, walking through the back streets, right up through the back and into the market, get what I want for the day and walk back through the back streets. It was kind of pointless to carry an extra pound or two in my bag, knowing I was coming back with several pounds of fruit and stuff like this. So I left it everything like I always keep it when I am not using it for my own personal interest and use. I have the data turned off, the internet turned off, the power turned off, everything's turned off, and the phone was in the case, put away, and there's no point in taking it. Wrong. There is a point, and you better bet. Okay, either I'm going to have everything, all these numerous devices, recording devices I am operating with, are going to stay charged. And if I don't leave here with with a phone, with another external device, then it's gonna be a body cam. It's gonna be I am leaving here with a recording device. each and every time I leave. And it's going to be powered on, and it's going to be ready to video and expose and exploit you people who continuously insist on putting your own lives, your own children's lives, and your own family's lives in serious, serious, fatal danger for no other reason than you're just that fucking ignorant, and you're that fucking arrogant, and you're that fucking narcissistic. So, and you are just that stupid that you do the same fucking thing. You say and you do the same things over and over and over. That the last retard said and did. That the last retard before him said and did. That the last retard before him said and did. You American people, you're like cookie cutter carbon cutouts. You're clones of each other. You are really and truly clones of each other. You really, truly do share and swap a hive consciousness. Okay? And you all say and do the same things. Right on down to those fraction of a hair of a second involuntary facial reactions that you don't even realize or know that you have, that tell me everything about you and what's going on inside your mind at the moment that I need to know. Okay, so keep sending them. Keep sending them, Macomb County. Keep recruiting them. Keep sending them. Okay, see, keep rounding up the swine hogs and keep sending them off to the slaughter. And I'll be right here waiting to slaughter them one by one as the hogs come marching in. Okay, while you people follow. And let me tell you something else. It's funny. They got these FBI agents with their fluorescent vests and stuff. These Homeland and FBI agents that wear like those fluorescent safety vests. They're city people contracted with the feds, Homeland, FBI, Department of Defense, and they wear those fluorescent safety vests, the green ones or the yellow ones, and they stick out like a sore thumb. But they don't realize that they're too dumb to think that they still stick out like a sore thumb, because they think if they're riding in their car, particularly when they have that UV blocking tinting on their car windows, okay, and they're just trying to like look nonchalant, like, you know, like they're looking at a house, or they're looking at a property, or they're looking at an empty lot. Okay, I know who you are. And guess what? You stick out like a sore thumb. You got FBI stamped across your forehead out there, riding around behind your tinted windows with those yellow and green fluorescent safety vests, and you look stupid. And I know who you are. And you're gonna start and see, and the ones that they got out there in the street following me, most of them, most of the times, only know their one small role for their one small part. And most of them have to sign, if there's any chance that they know me or might meet me, they have to sign NDAs that not to either look at social media or look at me on social media. And they have absolutely no clue, okay, that they are a sitting duck, that they are a hog swine being rounded up and sent in for the slaughter. They have no idea. And they are briefed and completely convinced that I'm not really a Muslim. I'm just out there wearing the costume just because it's fun, or to look cool, or because it's cold out, or something, right? Okay, and I'm actually a criminal under federal investigation, and or depending on who they are, okay, if they've bent over and spread their butt cheeks and have been sodomized, then they're allowed to know that I'm actually on the Patriot Act, and it's a Patriot Act operation. Okay, and they've also been told things like they've been told if they do, and just to get in front of any contact they have with me, it's also been explained to them that I'm mentally ill. Okay, in addition to the fact that I'm fake and I'm not really a Muslim, and so therefore, anything I say is a lie, and or I'm mentally ill, and or I am a spy, secret spy, and I'm not real clear as to who it is that they convince them that I'm a spy for, but that's what they do. So then when, like for example, about 4 or 5 weeks ago on the smart bus, okay, and listen, I had not had a shower or anything, and or a bath, and I did not feel good. I was incredibly stiff and in a lot of pain, and I just put on my clothes and went up to the corner to wait for the bus to go to Planet Fitness to take a shower. Wasn't interested in talking to anybody, meeting anybody, nothing. So as we're riding on the bus, there's this black guy, okay, with this huge elongated skull, for those who know what that means. And he was sitting in the seat right across the aisle from me. And then there's some dirtball white guy, FEMA Homeland contracted role player in the seat in front of me. And the black guy with the elongated alien skull looks over and says, "Excuse me." He says, "But you're," and he was addressing me as a Muslim. He's like, "Excuse me, you are the third white girl." Okay. First he had asked me why do I wear this? I said, because I'm a Muslim. I said, in the ideology of not wearing it I explained to him, I said, because the hair, the neck, the arms, the legs, these are all private parts. So to not cover my hair would compare to not wearing a pair of pants. That's why. And in addition, on a level of the unseen, it is to protect Merkaba. I said, because, even if the human eye can't see Merkaba, okay, those in the realms of the unseen can see my Merkaba, and it's to hide. He says, "Well, you're the third white girl." I said, "Excuse me, I'm not a white girl." He said, "Yes, you are." I said, "No, I'm not." He said, "Yes, you are." And then dirtball white boy in the seat in front, he turns around and he goes, "I don't want to hear it." And I looked at him and I says, "Well, it looks like you don't have any other motherfucking choice but to hear it, does it?" I said, "So you best just turn your face back around and mind your own business and just sit there and quietly listen to what you don't have a choice but to hear, because you don't have any power to decide that." And he did. He turned his ugly dirtball face right back to the front and kept his mouth shut. And that black guy with the elongated alien skull kept his mouth shut. And I rang the bus and I got off at Miriam and Van Dyke. And, and that's what these people do. These people walk up to me right on the street and they talk to me as if they know what and who I am, and then they will even go so far as to ask me a question, and when I answer as a complete total stranger, they will actually stand there and look me in my face and tell me I'm a liar. No, that's not true. And they'll stand there and tell me, that I'm a liar. I am not a missing trafficked person, and And I insult them in 100,000 ways. I insult them, I insult their mothers, I insult their children, I insult them for every bit of fucking low life, unworthy, dirtball, garbage piece of shit they were. So, anyways, that's what's going on today. And you know, I woke up in the night, okay, well, throughout the night, my hand was being, they were targeting my hand with the DARPA electromagnetic weapons of mass destruction. And, you know, I told you, these dumb Americans, they're too dumb to know that they're dumb, and they're too ignorant and arrogant to learn. They are Satans, and they are arrogant, arrogant, arrogant. They have the two worst forms of disease that exist: ignorance and arrogance, and narcissism that is in their DNA. Okay, they are, as the genetic entity being that they are, they are narcissistic. That's their nature, as Satan's, as Shayateen and Shayateen hybrids. They're narcissistic, and they are so arrogant. And it doesn't matter. Okay, they are, you know, they will stand there and they will be humiliated and they will be destroyed. They are too fucking ignorant and arrogant to learn anything. And I take full advantage of that. I take full advantage of knowing that. I take full advantage of their ignorance, and I completely play on it, and I get inside their heads. You know, I read those involuntary facial reactions and eye movements and stuff that they don't even know that they have, that tells me everything I need to know about them in the situation. And then I use that to get in their head and drive their emotions over the edge, like the master of mind control and psychological warfare that I am. And from now on, I will not, I don't care if I'm just going, I don't care if I'm just walking 6 feet away and back. I will have a device on me, and I am, from now on, I'm going to record these people one by one after another. These Centerline and Warren dirtballs, the Macomb County filth and garbage, these ignorant, arrogant, narcissistic operatives and role players who are too dumb to know that there's a sacrificial pawn in something that they only know their one small role and their one small part that's going to cost them their life. It's going to cost them. It's going to cost every one of them, because, see, I don't have to have their video. I don't have to have their picture. I don't have to have their name and know who they are, because I am never alone, even when I'm alone. I am under real-time DARPA satellite protection of my own, okay, who is video recording and putting these dirtballs, like, you know, like we saw that stupid, dumb bimbo bitch on Facebook in the comments yesterday, Carol Harquail, okay, yeah, she's one of them. KMG Prestige, you see that dumb bitch, right? Okay, that's why I do those people the way I do them, because I know who they are. And see, what that dumb bitch don't know was she became noticed and known in January 2022. And by February 2022, she was on the arrest list. Okay, now fast forward all the way here to 2025. Okay, about maybe a month, anywhere between the last 6 to 8 weeks. I can't remember exactly what it was. I saw her. And, okay, I saw her on the Facebook, in the name, Carol Harquail. And, while we were sitting here, Facebook stalking people's whole lives, investigating them, I said, I know this. I know her. I know, and I can't remember, but she's familiar. I recognized her. I recognized her name right away, and you know, and they refreshed my memory of going back to 2022, which it didn't refresh my memory. I don't remember, but I remember. I remember. There's so many of these disgusting dirt balls, and like I said, this operation, when the Hillary and Pfizer pharmaceutical operation in 2018, when it started out, was 4,000 people involved, and since then they have recruited 2,000 more, making it 6,000. And then there's 4,000 people who are on an arrest list for no other reason, civilians and non, for no other reason than having the misfortune of making contact with me, whether online, on the street, in person, or because they clicked on my Facebook page and were monitored while they sat there and read and learned everything they read. So it is another additional 4,000 people who are going to be arrested and charged and executed for their obstruction of justice to conceal and protect the crimes of kidnapping, trafficking, murder, and terrorism, which they absolutely did acquire knowledge and information of. And they failed to report it because it's not their problem and it doesn't involve them. And as a result, they put international and national security at risk, public safety and human life, and real people, actual real people, including myself, have been hurt. And there are real people who are missing and murdered. And so there's 4,000 of those that that are being arrested, and they're being executed for crimes of kidnapping, human trafficking, murder, and terrorism for no other reason than their role in obstruction of justice, because it doesn't concern them. So this is what they do. They send these disgusting dirt balls to follow me in the street, and this is what I do to them. And I love it. I like it. And, you know, keep sending them. Keep sending them, you know. But let me make this very clear. You better heed this warning, Macomb County. You better heed this fucking warning with every bit of fucking seriousness that you are capable of even understanding. You better see what you want to see. You better hear what you want to hear. And you better learn what you want to know. But you better stay outside of the perimeters of the boundaries that I have drawn for you. You better not cross my red line. And that means on the street. That means on my devices. That means on the internet. You better see what you want to see. You better hear what you want to hear. And you better learn what you're not too ignorant to learn. And you better do it from the outside of my motherfucking perimeters. Because I've just about had it with you bitch motherfuckers. I've just about had it with you ignorant, arrogant, narcissistic motherfuckers. And I'm having fun with your lives. I'm having a whole lot of fun playing with your lives in a game that I know you've already lost and don't have the intellect to turn that game around. You don't have the intellect, and you don't have the power, and you don't have the protection. You lost this game the day you sat down to play with me, and I'm dragging you through a rabbit hole. You the people who recruited you, your families, your children, the American people. I'm dragging you all through a rabbit hole that I promise you are never, ever, ever coming back up from again. Thank you and have a good day.